Hello guys, thank you very much for joining in. I'm Ganesh Nayak and I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career. And I also train FRM and CFA candidates for their exams to clear the exam in their first attempt. Okay. Now today I have been coming up with on this topic where I'm going to talk about how to prepare for FRM level 1 and level 2 in 2021. Okay, the reason for this session is that the May exams in India has been postponed and a lot of students had the query that whether they should go for FRM level 1 and level 2. Okay, so I had already put in one video talking about the logic or what should they keep in mind when they are deciding on whether to go for FRM level 1 or level 2. But today I'm going to be focusing more on how to prepare. What should be your general strategy? What are the key things that you should remember when you're planning to go for both the levels together? And how different is your FRM level 2 as compared to the way of preparation that you had for FRM level 1? Okay, so with this we're going to be starting out with the session. So agenda for today is primarily that I'm going to give the overview of FRM level 2. Most of the students might be new to this, so I'll be having a quick overview of the same. Then I'll be talking about why you should go for both the levels. So this is specifically for students who have whose exam for level 1 has been deferred to November. Okay, so why they should go for it, what are the advantages that they have, and plus what difference that they will feel when they will start their preparation for level 2. Okay, further I'll be also focusing on what books and material that you should be doing. Is there any difference in terms of preparatory material that they can use for level 1 and level 2? That is going to be there. And I'm also going to be sharing the detailed timeline, month-wise timeline, which book to focus on for your preparation. And I'm also going to be talking about the quick tips, and finally I'll open up for any queries that you guys might have. Okay, also in case you have any queries during the session, you guys can put it on the chat section and I'll try to address it as soon as possible. Okay, so let us first talk about the overview of FRM level 2 exam. Okay, so level 2 has basically around 6 books. Okay, now previously before 2020 there was only 5 books and then they added out with the sixth book, which was basically liquidity risk. I'll give you a brief overview about each book and the exam pattern. Okay, so the first book in FRM level 2 is basically your market risk. Okay, so in your level 1, okay, you had books which were focusing on the conceptual part of the risk management or financial market. But over here in level 2, the books are primarily into the individual risk that the organization faces. The market risk, okay, market risk has around 11 to 12 chapters. The entire content is heavily towards the term structure of the interest rate, how interest rates are impacting the market, the product, how do you do hedging. So all of that has been covered in market risk. Okay, there are around 11 to 12 13 chapters in this entire book. Okay, there are few 4 5 chapters which are very important. Let me take you towards the second book, which is credit risk. Okay, now in this book the focus of the exam is that they will like to cover the topics related to default risk. Counterparty risk is a huge topic in this book. There are around 6 to 7 chapters which are related to primarily counterparty risk. There are few chapters, 3 to 4 chapters, which are related to models which are used in credit risk. So those are also critical for your exam. And there are also topics related to securitization, which we just touched base in your level 1. Okay, so there are going to be also topics related to that. Okay, next is your book 3, operational risk. Okay, now when we talk about operational risk in level 1, we had only one chapter, but over here we had around more than 20 chapters from this entire book. It ranges from enterprise risk management, it ranges from any other aspect like data reporting. All of that has been covered in the operational risk book. Okay, fourth book is basically your liquidity risk. Now this book has been added specifically because during the 2007 or 2008 crisis, okay, we realized that the banks were holding a lot of illiquid asset. They had a huge leverage, they were holding a lot of illiquid asset, and they were not in a position to liquidate it in a fast manner. So after that 2007-8 crisis, we saw a lot of regulations coming in. So we'll see that regulation, list of regulation, how that is impacting, how a bank is looking at the liquidity requirement that they have. All of that in again 20, 25, 20, 21 chapters. Then you have an investment management book. Okay, now this entire book is related to portfolio management. So in level 1, you talked about CAPM, capital asset pricing model, model portfolio theory. There were only two chapters which are particularly focusing on a risk of a portfolio. Okay, but in this book, there are going to be around 12, 13 or 15 chapters where the focus will be, they will start with a single asset. Okay, they will tell you what exactly is an asset, how exactly a risk factor impacts an asset. They will take you towards the portfolio construction. They will show you how the portfolio is constructed. Then they will take you towards the risk of a portfolio. Then further they will add it and take it towards the entire fund where there are so many portfolios. Okay, now if you want to do this book properly, then obviously from level 1 you should be focusing on modern portfolio theory and arbitrage pricing model. And the final book is current issues book. Okay, now normally every year this book generally changes because of the change in the things that are happening in the financial market. Okay, now for your 2021 curriculum, obviously from 2020 there has been certain changes and they have added few new chapters related to COVID, related to any cyber risk. So they have added a lot of chapters over there. So there are also around 11, 12 chapters in this current risk book. So you can see the weightages also, which ranges from around 20% to 15 and 10%. Now in the exam you're going to be getting 80 questions. Okay, now since the number of questions are less and the number of chapters which are like around 100 chapters for your level 2, then the institute is also facing an issue in the in sense of giving a relevant question to you in the exam. So in the exam you will find a lot of questions which are interlinked. That means you will find questions related to market risk and operation risk in a single question. Okay, a combination of questions can generally come, and like level 1 there is no negative marking, it's an MCQ based question. And for this year, the December exam, it's going to be computer based exam for FRM level 2, okay, in India and also globally. So the point is that the exam structure is vast. It is a lot of theoretical topics. So I'll be talking about the few important chapters also in the further slides. So this was the overview of the exam. Let me take you towards why you should prepare for FRM level 1 and level 2 together now. Okay, now since you have already prepared for FRM level 1 and you're going to go for November, okay, so you are actually in a better place to go for level 2, which is going to be in the December. There are few pointers related to it, so I'll come to that part. The first and the foremost reason that I feel that you should go is that you guys are already in the study mode. So you've already studying for level 1, anticipating that the exam is going to happen in May. So you will not feel that pain to restart the entire preparation. So you have that study mindset with you. You can continue doing that and you can capitalize on that flow of preparation. Okay, next is the utilization of time. Now you guys know, everybody knows that since the exam has postponed, many of the students will primarily pick up that book again, the FRM level 1 book again after August or around September. Okay, now ideally you would be wasting this much amount of time. So what you should be doing is you should pick up level 2 book and take these 3 months, May, June and July, these 3 months to complete at least 70 to 80 chapters from your total 100 chapters. And I want you to focus only on the important chapters because the early bird deadline is 31st of July for level 2. Okay, this is where you can take the decision. Once you have read that important chapter, 60, 70 chapters, then on the basis of that, you can take a decision whether you want to go for level 2 this year or next year. Okay, if suppose you take a decision that you don't want to give level 2 now, then at least you have gone through that 60 chapters which will be useful to you in the next year's attempt. Okay, because the portion when it changes, it only changes for 10%. So you can utilize that gap of 3-4 months where you will ideally not be picking up level 1 because you've already read so much. Okay, it's a good opportunity for you to clear the exam in single attempt. Okay, the reason being, you will be reading level 1 alongside level 2. It's going to be exhaustive, but there'll be so many concepts which are interlinked to level 2 and it will become easy for you to prepare during that period of time. So it's a very good opportunity for people. Also, there is a time gap between the exam dates. So previously the exam date was primarily on a single day. So I have known students who have given both the levels in the same date and cleared, but it was very exhaustive. That means you would have reading around 150 160 chapters on a single day, okay, before the exam. But if you are planning to give this in November or December 2021, then primarily it is a good opportunity for you, because you can keep at least 15-20 days gap between the exam of FRM level 1 and level 2, and then you can prepare accordingly. So you'll get exclusive time to prepare for each exam. And please remember, if you go for next year level 1 level 2 in May, you will not get that much amount of gap, the same gap which you're going to get in November and December exam. Okay, what is the difference between your FRM level 1 and level 2 curriculum? The first and the major difference being, there are 60 chapters in FRM level 1 and there are 700 chapters for level 2. Now, even though when you were preparing for level 1, okay, that 60 chapter, there were theory chapters, there were a lot of calculation driven chapters, like you had your futures valuation, option valuation. So when there is a lot of calculation, you can rely easily rely on the way of preparation. Okay, you can easily rely on the calculation piece. Okay, a lot of students are good on the calculator sums. Okay, but in level 2 it's heavily based out of theory. So out of 80 you can expect around 20 to 25 questions related to calculation, but majority of them would be theory based. Okay, so now the idea is that when it is heavy theory, okay, you might have to read the content again and again and again. Okay, because obviously if you read something now, you're going to forget about it by the time you reach the exam. Okay, now one more major difference is that when you were for reading the content for book level 1, okay, the content over there was primarily focused on basics of finance, basics of products, basics of risk management. So it was kind of easy. But when you look at level 2, they have individual books for individual risk, and they're going to be deep diving into that risk as if you are working in that field. Okay, so definitely the content is good, but when you read that content, you really understand how exactly a bank understand the risk. Okay, and you will see a lot of things which are happening in your organization in your books. Okay, if you will be able to correlate a lot of stuff. Next is, in level 1 you would find a lot of straightforward questions, because the numbers were 100, the chapters were 60. Okay, so there were a lot of chapters where two questions would come, and paper is more or less predictable. Okay, but when you look at level 2, you would find mixed questions. So you should be mentally prepared to see a single question coming from two chapters and from two different books. Okay, there can be a scenario like that. Okay, so mixed questions can be expected, uh, case study based questions can be expected. Okay, let me take you towards the books and materials that ideally you should be using for level 1 and level 2. When you are preparing for level 1, ideally majority of the students in India, they prefer Swagger books, okay, as their base book. That is sufficient enough. Some of the students do read garp if they have time. Okay, and they also take care of the third party question bank or some third party preparatory material to enhance their exam. Okay, because the Swagger question banks are very easy. But when you look at level 2, the only big difference that you will see when you're reading the content is that level 2 cannot be entirely relied upon from Swagger. The reason being, there are few chapters where there are contents like tables or charts which are not explicitly given in your Swagger book. For that, you might have to refer to GAR book on some topics, and that will give you a very different level of understanding of that concept, because and you will clearly understand the way it is written in Swagger and the way it is written in GARP is very different. Okay, and along with that, you would definitely need a third party question bank or a prep material to enhance your solving. Okay, because Swagger question bank itself again for level 2 is not good enough for your preparation. Let me take you towards a timeline of preparation. Now this timeline has been created from the perspective that somebody has already read for FRM level 1, okay, on this till this May exam, and he's gonna go for level 2 now and level 1 both together. Okay, so I am having an assumption that the student has already gone through the entire content of level 1. He has already done a decent level of question bank solving. So ideally, how should he go about? Okay, so if I'm starting today, which is basically the start of May, okay, and I have taken the first 3 months. Now, why this first 3 months? Because the early bird deadline for your level 2 exam is 31st of July. Okay, so what you can ideally do is you can pick up the first book. Okay, I'm purposely asking you to pick up investment management book first. Okay, the reason being it has some connection heavily on the portfolio management piece, on the standard deviation piece. So a lot of calculations you will see repeat. Okay, var topics are again repeated in this book. Okay, marginal var, component var, so those things will come back to you. The basics of var will repeat. So you can start with investment management book, and you can divide your entire schedule for the first 3 months, okay, from for the start of May till end of July, into two parts. Okay, suppose if you are a working professional, you can create two parts. The first part is a main core preparatory time, that can be a 2 hours or maximum 2.5 hour per day. Okay, so that can be, for example, early morning for me, if I'm working in a bank and I have to give out my shift timings. So I will take out that 2.5 hours, and I will try to prepare the three most important books during that period only. That is going to be investment management, credit risk, and market risk. Okay, so in the month of May, you can completely read the market investment management book. I am asking only to read. I'm not looking out for you guys to solve the question bank now. Okay, then then you can take out one more small schedule of say half an hour or maximum 15-20 minutes in your day, every day, and take out the operation risk book and just read it. So for the May month, you should just read and read and read the operation risk book. If possible, read it twice. Okay, then let us come to the next month, which is primarily your June month. Okay, what you can do is you can pick up the credit risk book. Obviously, you cannot start the credit risk book immediately from chapter 1, because there are so many chapters which are interlinked and which are not in the straight order. Okay, so credit risk book entirely you should be able to read in the month of June, and that is a main preparatory time, and you can skip out and read the entire liquidity book in that 20 minutes of your time every day, one chapter. Don't worry about anything else, just one chapter from that liquidity risk book in the month of June. Simple. Okay, let us go to July month. You can pick up the main preparatory time. You can pick up market risk book and completely read that book. Okay, if possible, read few chapters like term structure, volatility, smiles from GARP book. Okay, and also you can take out some 1 hour on a daily basis and split out that with current issues reading, and the rest of the time start solving the operation risk book. Okay, now the reason I have scrambled up all of this into 3 months, because I want you to complete one reading of your level 2 by the end of 31st July. The reason I'm asking you to do is, by the time you reach the mid of July, you would get a hang of what exactly is there in your level 2. There you can take a decision whether you want to go for level 2 in December or not. Okay, don't be worried now. You should be worried about it. You should take that decision when you have that timeline of making the payment of $550 to the institute. Okay, and suppose if you decide to go for the level 2 in December, then you can follow the next schedule which I'm going to be talking about. But if suppose you think that you're not prepared and you're going to go for level 2 in next year May, then what you can do is after July you can kind of stop the level 2 preparation and pick up level 1 and completely start reading the level 1 concept. Okay, don't worry, the 3 months that you have put in, it's going to be fruitful to you. The reason being, when you pick up again the book after your November exam for your next year, you're going to be recollecting a lot of stuff, so don't worry about it. Okay, apart from that I'll take a quick pause. In case of any queries that you might have on how to prepare, kindly put it on the chat section. I will try to address it as soon as possible. Okay, there's one question that, can I write both exam on the same day? Right now the exam window is very different for both level 1 and level 2 in November and December, so it would not be possible for you to give both the levels in same day, and I would practically not advise you to do that, because it is like reading 160 chapters together, right? So it would not be possible. I feel that. Okay, let us go towards the next part, which is from July onwards. How should you start preparation? Please remember that you're going to be also preparing for level 1 in November. So what I have done is, I have picked up the solving part now. Now I want you to solve the first book that you read, Okay, so do the revision, take 2 or 3 chapters and do the revision of that, and then go for solving. Okay, start solving the investment management book in the month of August basically. Okay, and start revising your financial market and valuation and risk model book. These two are important books for your level 1. Okay, and in the month of September, primarily what you can do is you can pick up credit risk and market risk book. Now this month is going to be a bit hectic for you. Okay, because over here it is like solving 30 chapter, 40 chapter, but I want you to push, because once you've completed the solving of these chapter, you will be mentally free that the 3 most important books of your exam you have completed solving. So by the end of September you will have peace, you'll not be worried about level 2. Okay, and simultaneously start solving, start reading the foundation of risk management, which is your book 1 for your FRM level 1 also in the month of October. Okay, now I have reduced entirely, okay, reduced entirely the level 2 content, because what I am primarily trying to do is I have put in only the easy chapters solving. I put in only the easy chapters solving, which is related to current issues and liquidity risk. Okay, plus you can go through the quantitative management, quantitative analysis book from your FRM level 1. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to answer Sanjay's answer. Sanjay, you had a query that what is the difference between the paper pencil exam and the computer based exam in terms of questions different. There is no difference in the number of questions that you're going to get. The only difference is that in the paper pencil exam you had an opportunity to see two, 3 questions together and take a decision immediately fast whether you're going to pick this question or not. Okay, in computer based it's going to be one question. You have to go to that question, look at that question. It's going to be time consuming. Okay, and it is going to be, the impact is going to be same for all of them. Okay, now I have told you about October end. Okay, what should you do after October? That means from 1st of November onwards, your focus should obviously be on level 1. You should do sectional test, because you have been revising. You should go and do sectional test, and then you should go about the mock papers. When you're solving mock paper, make sure that you solve the institute GARP sample paper surely for the this year. Okay, next, once immediately you complete your level 1 exam, you can start a full revision for your level 2. Say for example, one book entirely one day and complete the entire revision. Okay, and then start with the mock papers for level 2. It should be ideally around 3 to 4 mock papers, and again GARP sample paper has to be solved. Okay, so this is how I would have prepared if I would have gone for both level 1 and level 2 in the month of November and December. And also I feel that there is good chance that you would clear, because you are getting a good amount of time to read level 2 and then decide whether you want to go for it, or when then decide to make the payment. Okay, because suppose if you're planning to go next year May, okay, then your November exam is going to get completed by the end of November. Your result should be out by December mid or December end. Okay, and you will have only 1 month, because your May exam early bird deadline is going to be 31st of January. So you will have almost 1 month to prepare. So from that perspective, this is a good opportunity. Okay, now I'll just quickly give you some quick tips and some summarization for your preparation. What extra that you will have to do for level 2, which you I think so might not have done for your level 1 exam. Okay, now think from the perspective that you have around 100 chapters. Okay, and you have to revise this chapter again and again. So you think from the perspective that it is not 100 chapter, it is 200 chapter for your level 2, because you're going to be reading those chapter again properly. Okay, so it's at least 2 revision of the content that you will have to do, solving of question bank and resolving of question bank. That means when you're going to do the revision, you look at those important questions also again. Okay, that is again solving and resolving of question bank. That is going to be slightly different for your level 2. Okay, reading, so there are books which are related to operation risk, liquidity risk, current issues. These books has to be gone through 2 times or 3 times as you get time, because these are pure theory books, and if you read it now, you're definitely going to forget. But the only way to sustain this is read it continuously, so that you have a lot amount of recall value. Okay, and more importantly, you would need a strategy to take up level 2. It's not that simple as level 1. Okay, because there are a lot of materials available online for level 1, a lot of guidance available for level 1, but for level 2 you will find that hardly anybody is talking about it. Okay, so you would need a strategy, you would need a mentor to help you to clear which chapter to start first and how to go about for the entire book. Okay, finally, try to complete the first reading of your level 2 exam by before the end of July, so that you can make the decision and make the payment. Okay, okay, keep reading every day. Make sure that you read level 2 every day from now, at least one chapter or two chapter. Okay, solve more than 2000 plus questions. Okay, question bank for level 2 is slightly very low, but you can focus and resolve the question again and again, so that you get the hint how exactly the institute might test you. There is also a good set of GARP sample paper which you can totally go and solve. There are some questions from Philip Jorian book also which you can try solving for level 2. Always and always, when you're preparing, give priority to level 1. So moment you cross July, you have to increase the focus of your level 1 preparation, because in level 1, level 2, if you could not clear level 1, then your level 2 paper will definitely not be checked. Okay, now a quick guidance from my side. We basically are a finance training institute in Mumbai, and I am the lead trainer of intelligence. And we basically help students to clear their FRM and CFA exam in first attempt. And we provide video lectures and live online sessions. So we currently run live online sessions for level 1 exam in November. We also have a video lecture package for level 1 and also for level 2, okay, where we will be giving you around 100 to 120 hours of live session, a lot of question banks, and our own notes, summary notes also for your preparation. Further, we also provide only question bank and notes for people who want to just enhance their preparation. They have already read the content and they want to enhance their preparation. So this is also available. And we're going to be coming up with special package for level 2, where it's going to be video lectures plus live online question solving for selected chapters. Okay, and we are doing this because people when they're reading for level 2, they should have that pressure of coming to a session and solving. Okay, so that's the reason we will be having a live online question bank solving sessions also. So that's a special package that we're going to be planning out soon. Okay, which question bank to solve? Gokul is having a query. See, primarily BT is a good material question bank for level 2. Okay, but the problem is the question banks are very less. Okay, so I do provide question bank. In case you need it, you can put it out or chat primarily on our uh, WhatsApp number. We will help you with the details. But apart from that, you can look for Wiley, but Wiley is bit costly. You have analyst prep again, that is very costly. And BT is easily available, but the number of questions are very low. They will be good in terms of the challenge level, but in terms of heavy preparation, it is not. Okay, so I'll be opening up for any queries. In case you guys have any queries, I'm waiting there for the next few minutes to help you ask any queries. And in case of you need any mentorship or any guidance for your level 2 preparation, definitely I'll be there, okay, to help you out. You can reach out on this WhatsApp number, and if possible, I'll definitely give you a call back as soon as I get free. Any specific queries that you guys might have? I hope I have answered all the queries which people have posted on the chat section. Okay. Okay, cool. So it seems that people don't have at the moment any query. We can take those queries offline also on the WhatsApp chat or else on a call. Be feel free to reach us. Till then, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. We are going to be coming up with more session tomorrow morning. We're going to be having a live session on foreign exchange market. Okay, which is a level 1 content. Okay, we're going to be doing an entire chapter for you, for people who are going to be preparing for July exam also. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for being a part of this session.